It's very funny because they're like having someone who's on the right and having someone's on the left. It's usually like some sort of a formulaic thing. It's like, you know what I think of? Hannity and Combs.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, because it was fake. That was the thing.
Exactly.
It's kind of hard to describe what we do. Because if you say, like, we're on the right and we're on the left, it does sound like this sort of thing
country.
that, like,
or like rock and roll. Remember
right?
that?
Yes, or like that terrible CNN show Crossfire is the other thing.
Who was on that one?
Well, the original one was Tucker, Paul Bagala.
Tucker. Fuck, there were two.
And then
others.
they did the reboot of it, which was rough.
Tucker was on the right and
Yes,
back,
and
even back
Bagala was
then.
on the left. Yeah,
And Tucker used to have bow tie on.
that was when he had the bow tie.
And
bow tie.
he's
Bow tie.
never lived down that. Like, people still in their head, I feel like that's the picture they get of
He hasn't
Tucker,
even worn a bow
though he
tie
hasn't
in
worn
15
it.
years.
But it's just like seared into people's memories that
That's
this is
Peter
what this
Hotez,
man wears.
too. There's something about bow ties. There's Crossfire.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, that's Carville? And there's the infamous Jon Stewart when he just destroyed that. Yeah, and then they did the remake with Newt Gingrich. Remember that?
Oh,
yeah,
Elliot Spitzer was on there, right?
No, that was another terrible show.
Newt Gingrich and Van Jones. And
that was Stephanie Cutter, who was one of the most unlikable people ever created. And then Essie Cuff is actually a long time. She and I were at MSNBC together, so she and I are friends. So I can't say anything bad about her. She's a very nice person. Yes,
she seems
I love
nice.
her.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway,
I don't know
that
who
was
that other
Crossfire.
lady is.
Stephanie Cutter? She worked for Obama.
She didn't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Was she a Hillary person? I can't remember. Yeah. Anyway,
watch those
it was
shows.
bad. It was bad. Anyway, that's not what we're doing. I hope.
What is really no, you're not doing that at all. But what is really fascinating is that having these long form discussions like you guys do, uncensored and undirected, right, without an executive leaning over your shoulder and telling you what to do. It's the best way to discuss things.
Yeah,
and when I get to hear from a reasonable person on the left and a reasonable person on the right who respect each other, it's like, it gives me hope. Like, hey, we can all get along. Like, we can sort through what's good and what's bad. It's possible.
That is actually the core goal of the show. Because, I mean, we are living through incredibly, like, politically fraught times where you have a lot of people whose whole business model is to persuade you that, like, half the country hates you and is destroying the country and it's existential and we're headed to civil war. And so I feel like if Saagar and I can, agree on some things, which we do, and have debates on topics that are, difficult and tense and fraught, and be able to do that day after day in a way that is respectful, that's like not just trying to score points, but actually trying to learn from each other. I hope it makes a small difference in the political atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm most proud of in our analytics is like half the audience is genuinely right and half the audience is genuinely left. And one of the pitches that we give our people, we're like, hey, if you're going to support us, like, you're not going to agree all the time. So you're almost conditioning people to be like, hey, this is a message that I'm buying into. And I think the most impactful, like, sometimes you'll meet people or whatever, and they're like, man, I watched the show with my dad. And I'm just like, Dad, like, Krystal is what I believe. And Dad is like, I'm with Saagar on some things. And then we sit down and we talk about it afterwards. And like that, we're building that for people. That's so important, man.
Yeah.
It's completely
so important.
gone.
Because that is one of the dangers in independent media. There's a lot that's so exciting about independent media right now. I mean, you see the traditional media is just like dying. The ratings are failing. People are abandoning them in droves. Obviously, trust has completely fallen off a cliff. But there are some pitfalls in independent media, too. And one of them is that you develop an audience that is one ideology, that just wants to hear one thing and is there to hear what they already think about things. And so I think because of the fact that we have different opinions and our different, political ideologies, that has sort of protected us against having an audience that is there for any one particular idea. And, we'll see sometimes, like, people go, oh, you guys said this and that, we disagree with you. And it's like, you know what? If this isn't the thing for you, you owe it to yourself to go somewhere else where you're going to hear every day, I guess, whatever it is that you want to be told from within your bubble.
Well, I think you guys have reached a point where I have to give you the speech. And it's like, you got to stop paying attention to the comments.
Yeah, it's so true.
I've been giving this
Yeah.
speech for like 3 years.
I've been giving you this speech. I'm telling you, I'm right. I'm
No,
right on this.
You are 100%.
You are right.
Kyle actually preaches this to me all the time,
Yeah.
too.
No,
So I have-
Kyle's indoctrinated.
yeah, he's fully bought in. He's fully on board with the philosophy. It's so true, though.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's like you feel like you should engage with your fans and everything like that, but you just got to tell them, look, I love you guys. I'm not reading your shit. I love you. I love you. I do this for you. I hope you enjoy it. I'm happy that you enjoy it. I'm not reading your shit.
Yeah.
The hardest is whenever it's like people who pay, like help support
Yeah.
the show, and they'll be like, I pay $10 a month, and like I pay you to represent me. I'm just like, all right, man.
Yeah.
Like then maybe you should cancel because that's actually not what we're here for.
Not
Yeah.
reading that.
Yeah.
I'm not
yeah,
engaging.
Yeah.
I'm not fuck you and you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
God, that shit will get in your head too.
Yeah.
It
It
will, and it
stinks.
will
100%.
mess with you in terms of like just your clarity of thought. So,
100%.
I mean, the trade-off is sometimes people do have good critiques, valid
Yes.
critiques, good ideas, whatever. So you do,
100%.
there is a trade-off
You're
there,
missing
but
some of that.
ultimately, I also buy into the Rogan philosophy of just don't read the shit and you'll be a lot
as
happier.
you guys get bigger and bigger, the numbers become more and more untenable. It just becomes ridiculous. And
Yeah,
you
that's true,
You
too.
can't engage, and it's also we are creatures of community. And when there is any negativity, that negativity gets highlighted so much more so than positivity. And by the way, you don't need positivity. You're good. You guys know you're good. You guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're objective. Neither one of you is crazy. You fucking
Sometimes.
yeah, but you're not. You don't have a distorted perception of what you do. You guys do great. You do great work. You try hard. You can't, like, those little negative ones, they will get in your fucking head.
Yeah.
Because we're creatures of community. And that person that you don't know that lives in fucking Indiana that is on meth and is, like, really mad because, the progressive in her district doesn't represent her views. And she's, like, typing the meanest fucking shit. Like, even though you know that that's nonsense, this is probably a crazy person, that's in your head now.